There's a cynical feeling saying I should give up. You said everything you'll ever say. There's a moment of panic when I hear the phone ring. Anxiety's calling in my head. Is it back again? Are you back again?
While we're having breakfast here, just wanted to mention Saturday, and we have put in 0 hours. So we're doing a long session today, which I kind of like because it helps me be patient, wait for good hands when I know there's plenty of hours left. But yeah, going up to Lucky Chances, playing 1-1-2. Hopefully only one buy-in, and let's run it up. We also had something really exciting happen last night. Check Raise Charles, you might know him from his amazing poker blog. He found one of our videos and commented last night. So that was really cool to see somebody that I watched vlog for a long time actually find one of my videos. And that was really neat. So hopefully I see him at Lucky Chances one of these days. I'm gonna leave a link to his vlog in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Charles plays a lot of PLO. Those games are super high variance, so if you're into the swings, check those out. As for us, we're gonna have this nice breakfast and head up to the casino. Here we go. Come outside for a little break. We are at $416 or something like that, having bought in for $200. So that's a good start. It's only like 2 o'clock. Many hours ahead of us. Just gotta keep grinding. So let's get back in there. So guys, as you can tell, we did not put in the full 10 hours because I am sick of being card dead. After we started off on a really good run, we just sat on this stack for a really long time and it dwindled down. Would lead out with marginal hands, say ace-10 in the hijack or queen-jack in the cutoff, king-queen suited, king-jack suited in middle position, stuff like that. And we got 3-bet just about every single hand we opened and had to fold. We picked up kings once, and that was like the one time we didn't get 3-bet. So that's kind of the story of the rest of the session. I actually wasn't involved in many more hands post-flop. When I was, just completely whiffed and had to let it go to average bets. So I got really sick of that after it just kept coming that way for a long time. So I left. All right, let's get ourselves a glass of whiskey and go over some hands.
Have your fill of disappointment, 2 more years of unemployment, all your fears come to life and leave you pouring up abandoned and spent.
All right guys, it's a little windy here. I'm gonna try to keep the wind out of the mic, but if it's too bad, I'll just record it inside. Nice view here, right on the ocean. Got my cup holder right there. All right, so we're good to go. Let's get into these hands. So in the first hand I'm involved in, I get ace of clubs, 4 of spades in the hijack, and there's a straddle on for 4. So I open it up to 16, trying to keep this from going multi-way. Small blind calls, and we're off to a flop. The flop comes 2 10s and a 7 with 2 hearts. So I go ahead and c-bet small here, I think 20, and the small blind raised to 60. So pretty easy lay down, let that go. In the next hand, I'm in middle position with ace-7 hearts, and under the gun +1 makes it 8. I call. The small blind re-raises to 35, I think. Under the gun +1 calls, and I fold. So I know these hands where I'm folding pre or right on the flop aren't like that exciting, but they really do kind of tell the story of this session, and this session for me involved a lot of folding. We then get ace of heart, jack of diamonds. Under the gun limps in for 4. Oh, one thing about lucky chances, you can't limp in for the big blind. You have to limp in for 4. So a min raise, what would normally be a min raise, is actually just a limp. So under the gun limps in for 4. A middle position calls. I re-raise to 15 to try to ISO them. I didn't really want to play ace jack off 3 ways. Under the gun calls, middle position folds. The flop comes ace of clubs, jack of hearts, 7 of hearts. Under the gun checks, and I check back as well. This is just because I have so much of the board covered up. I want him to catch something so that I can go for some value. The turn ends up being the 5 of hearts. He goes ahead and jams for 24 more, which is all he has left. I call it off, take it down, but he showed a black queen, so he didn't have the flush. So at Lucky Chances, you can do this thing called killing a pot. It's basically like a straddle from anywhere. It's 1, 2, you kill for 4, and then at the end of the pre-flop action, you get to act from wherever you're at. So there's a kill in this hand from the cutoff. Middle position makes it 8, which is the limp now. Now that there's a kill, you have to open for 8. I look down at ace queen off and bump it up to 25, and the kill folds in the cutoff, and middle position goes heads and calls. He calls all in. He only has like 20 behind. So it's about a $50 pot, maybe a little less, and it runs out king, queen, 10, 6, 3, and we take it down. He had ace 10. So in this hand, middle position opens up to $10, and we look down at 8 of spades, 8 of clubs in the hijack. We make the call, and the small blind and big blind call. We're going 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes 10 of hearts, 8 of diamonds, 4 of clubs. Small blind checks, big blind checks, middle position leads out for 20. I go ahead and call here, hoping to keep another person in the hand on this fairly dry board. There are some straight draws out there that we need to be concerned about, but we're just going to call and see what happens here on the turn. Small blind folds and the big blind calls, and we're 3 ways to the turn. It's the jack of clubs. So 7 nines there. 9 jacks got top pair, which is actually good for us. And it brings a backdoor flush draw as well, though we're not super concerned about that. The big blind checks, and middle position leads out for 50. At this point, I'm fairly certain I have the best hand, and I want to get that middle position player all in with his 10, or maybe he turned the jack. The big blind folds, and middle position goes ahead and calls for the rest of his stack. He asks me if I have a set, I nod, and he says, "You're good." Tosses his cards into the muck, and we take down our only good pot of the whole night. So now it's 6:45. I'm gonna round down and say we got 6 hours in, which means we gotta put in 4 tomorrow. No problem, gonna come back, get some rest, come in with a positive attitude. We ended up cashing out for $220, so still a win of $20, can't be upset with that, and we're still moving in the right direction.
You have a hope for waiting there outside your front door, leading to death.